Hey everyone, in an earlier video where I tested various pens for water-soluble ink sketching, I featured the Pentel Tradio Stylo pen, which is terrific for that sort of work. But this pen, it's actually quite expensive. It's almost $9 or $10, and the ink refill itself, it's more than $3. So it's a very expensive pen. And recently, while I was at an art shop, I saw this variant of the Pentel Stylo. In some countries, it goes by the name Pulaman or Puraman, and the model number is JM20. This pen is available in several colors. If you want to do some water-soluble ink sketching, I recommend getting the black, red, or blue pens. At the time of this review, if you buy this pen in a box of 12 on Amazon, it's around US $19, so each pen is around US $1.60. But if you buy the pen alone, it's double the price. Now the price of this pen, it's 1/3 compared to the Pentel Tradio Stylo. And the price of this pen is quite similar to the ink refill for this. So this is way more affordable. So if you want to use this, it's definitely more economical to buy a box. And also this pen, it doesn't feature a see-through grip section, so you won't know whether or not it has run out of ink. So it's always good to have some backup pens. The Pentel Stylo uses this big piece of triangular felt tip. Once it's soaked with ink, it's going to become black. Unlike the Tradio Stylo, which uses this liquid ink cartridge, the Stylo, it uses ink sponge. The good thing about this is you can actually open this up to see the sponge. I don't think you can see anything right now, but if you put a piece of tissue inside, you can actually get to the ink. This is great because if you want to refill the ink, you can do so very easily. I will not use pigmented ink, of course, because that's going to clog the pen. This is a very nice pen for sketching. The black ink, it's quite dark, which is great. Now, if you use this pen on rougher paper, you may actually get some ink splatter. So this pen is best used on smoother paper, like hot press watercolor paper, if you want to do some water-soluble ink sketching. Because of the felt tip, this pen has a very textured feel when drawing with it. You know how some felt tips, when you put the tip on the paper for too long, the ink will start to spread? Well, not with this, which is quite nice. So for example, I can place a dot here, and I still get that tiny little dot. The ink doesn't spread out. The line width is quite consistent, and if I press down hard, I can actually get a slightly thicker line, which is very nice. So I can use the thicker lines for emphasis and thinner lines for elements that are in the background. This pen is fantastic for quick sketching. The ink flow is terrific. And now let's test the water solubility. Alright, this is very nice. This is quite soluble. I can get a very nice mid gray with this, and the gray, it's slightly on the cooler side. It's a cool gray, not a warm gray. Let me add more water here. And it's very convenient to use the water brush with this pen. This sketch currently only has highlights and mid values. If you want patches of black, it may be more convenient to use a black brush pen. I guess you can draw a lot of black lines with the pen and then dissolve the ink, but you won't be able to get patches of black like this, solid patches of black. The contrast of this black ink versus the gray wash, it's quite strong. I think it still works here. The ink dries really quickly, so you can work really fast. Here's a close-up of the sketch. Now if you want to have the gray blend into the white, you can add more water. You can certainly use wet on wet techniques with this pen. I like how dark the ink can get when you dissolve it. Some water-soluble pens cannot produce mid values like this. The wash on the ground is already dry. I want to see if I can dissolve the ink again. And it seems like once the ink is dry the second time, you can no longer dissolve it, which is interesting. The performance of this Pentel Stylo is similar to the Pentel Tradio Stylo, but this is way more affordable. So for water-soluble ink sketching, this is a pen I can recommend very easily. I'll put the link to where you can find this pen on Amazon in the video description below. Thanks for watching. I hope this video is helpful. See you in the next video. Bye!